And so I'm kind of interested to hear
That's
the lesson.
that's interesting. I think that the difference being is is providing an experience versus monetary benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's one way or the other. I could see it both ways, right? Experiences are great. People are also willing to pay for their own experiences, and money, really helps people at the end of the day.
Companies to work for would let people opt out of the trips, but it was a pittance. They could get was supposedly the cash equivalent,
Oh, really?
but it was 10th of 20th of what the company actually put forth to take us all somewhere and have fun.
But the benefit is creating community within your company.
Yeah.
And, I mean, on top of that, as a bootstrapper, it's your decision as to what you want to do and how you want to invest in your company. And if you want to invest in celebrating what you have accomplished along the way, I mean, that's okay.
So the lesson was to it's okay to celebrate, or what?
It's important to
Okay.
celebrate.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Because I mean, I remember being so busy, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to, exploit every single opportunity that presented itself to create $1. And
just to be the contrarian, though, I mean, I don't know if you've met Jason Cohen, right? Your local founder of Smart Bear Software, another local entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, the name's familiar.
I think he's now part of Capital 5, maybe even not. But he has a blog, and he just recently posted something about sacrifice your health for your startup, and basically making the opposite argument. I'm not saying that necessarily was a good thing, but that basically when you're in the early years, you're just going to have to work your tail off, and everything else will kind of fall to the wayside. And he's like, I'm not.
Yeah, but you don't have to be miserable about it. I mean, you should enjoy the finer parts of it and celebrate every small success you have, even if it means going to have a beer with your co-founder, after work. Sounds
good to me. That's not small.
I agree with it. Just JT or JC?
JC.
JC. And I agree with JC. I think that my employees, we go to South by Southwest and the Ruby Lone Star Conference, and we went to Vegas for the Rails conference there. And I think the conferences are more important to them than the money. And in fact, I have given checks to one of our employees that were never cashed. Now, he has since left, and then it came to light that he never cashed. But I find that interesting, but he really valued the camaraderie, not only with his fellow employees, but also with other developers, which is, I think it adds prestige to your job that, hey, my company sent me here. And, especially in the Rails world, I think there's a different feel. I think it's so important. That's my experience.
I just wanted to add that, number one, that the companies to work with, the example I gave, I believe, I don't even remember anybody ever opting out, taking it, and not going on the trip. And I also want to add that you don't have to go to Vegas. You can go to Barton Springs in the summer when it's
And
hot.
rent a rowboat.
And the end result is the same. It's still a shared experience. It's still totally fun. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be Vegas.
Yeah, that's one of the things we found is it was easier to, rather than go to Vegas, just get one of those boats that runs off on the town lake, and ride it up. Super fun, and it's not as much of a hassle. So, but I mean, I understand. You're talking about sacrificing your health.
Well, I mean, I was just contrasting.
I think that most of us are already doing that, and
But enjoy the fruits too.
But that's all I'm saying is you need to, at least. I talked to a Bejoya and I say, hey, I love being in the Valley of Death because there's all this fruit on the cactus. I mean, you gotta appreciate it as you're there because you're there a lot. What I mean?
Your whole point about being genuine and being true to yourself really resonates with me because I find that in my interactions with potential customers or potential business partners, those interactions go a lot better if I'm just myself rather than trying to be a business guy or sales guy or whatever it is that I'm that I'm sometimes tempted to try and be. And I think the hazard with spending all of your time heads down working is that it's possible that you start to lose touch with that person. So I think taking some time to do those things that you actually enjoy outside of work, I think helps remind you sometimes of who you actually are.
Yeah, and you can get tired. Just tired, I think, of the working hard. It can get, I think you need to have the Vegas trip for the break.
Or like you said, just being yourself is kind of a break. How I hear you saying it's like, hey, I enjoy what I enjoy, and so it's great as an entrepreneur that I get to sort of pursue that and be myself. And that early on we learned that. It was strange being the age that we are and everything. We kind of came into this world of people in business were in suits. And we were one of the first sort of like web agencies here in Austin, and we didn't really have any rules. But for a long time, I used to go to meetings and with a tie. And I never felt comfortable doing that. And all the other people, creatives in our company and stuff, they would come and they wouldn't be like that. And sooner or later, I started realizing that I felt a lot more comfortable just wearing what I like to wear too. I mean, it's nice to be respectable, but unless I'm dealing in a really rigid environment, I try to fit within my own sort of what I'm comfortable with.
When you made that change, did you notice any change in how your clients related to you?
Well, different clients. There are different clients who relate to me, and those are the clients that I resonate with better in general anyways. You know what I mean? They're basically a certain kind of person that sort of embraces you being yourself, and it's because they have something in common with you somewhere, and you therefore I find that I enjoy working with those people differently. But hi, I'm Steve.
Hey Steve, James.
Hi James.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What other questions? Or I'm gonna move on. The next real big one is this whole sort of the big idea of mastering your fears. It's like more psychological about business, but at a human level, I mean, what I found in business is that I was always scared of, going outside of my comfort zone. There were certain things in business that I didn't really have a lot of experience with, and when it came to surviving, I would defer to someone else as the expert in doing that. And as our business changed over years, there wasn't always an expert there to handle those sort of like needs. And I realized that if I didn't actually take steps to go outside of my comfort zone, I couldn't be successful, because there were sort of needs that in the moment that someone had to do it, and it ultimately came down to the fact that I realized that I need to do it, and so like if it means getting up in the front of a group like you, I mean, believe it or not, this is something that would have been really scary for me 5 years ago. Now I didn't even spend any time like really preparing.
And it shows.
Well, I mean, I got my presentation on SlideShare, and I'm walking through it point by point right now. But
I am joking. You're doing a great job.
Thanks. But I mean, on top of that, I mean, like I started as the programmer in the business. I was working in a authoring language called Lingo, which was the language for Director 3.0, which is a macro media product. So I was the Lingo programmer on staff, and as a result, I found myself managing projects. So someone else was selling, and someone else was our sort of creative, and I was the project manager and the author. And I found myself dealing with clients a lot, but ultimately, as the business kind of grew, we needed someone to take over the finances, and I had never really. Both my parents were like accountants and things like that,